Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. Interchangeable, of course, and this is the next installment in Thursday Fry-Up. Now, you know what? We've got a lot to discuss and talk about on today's show. And I must say, I'm gonna leave it for the end. But there is something that the UK government has done recently in regards to a certain, there's all the stuff with Russell. Let's just put it that way, and I'll address it at the end of the show. And it is deeply perturbed me. It really, really has, because we're entering very, very, very interesting times. Now we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it and stuff like that. But what I just wanted to say is this. Now, you guys, obviously, you know me, you know my channel, you've seen my predictions and all of this stuff. And you'll remember what I said. I said on the 17th of January, 2023, Saturn will enter sidereal Aquarius. And I made a whole host of predictions. And I'll have to find time to kind of maybe link to that specific video, or after this broadcast, I might actually have it as that video selection. Now, I said, now Saturn is what? A planet of government, yeah? Government, rules, regulations, who can do what, etc. and stuff like that. Also deals with big companies as well, huge companies, powerful companies, top-down structures, big pharma, all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things I said, you remember me saying, I said, rules and regulations will change. There'll be stuff to do with the sky, technology, innovations, currencies, but lots of new rules and regulations that maybe the people will not like. I also said there'll be changes as well in regards to things like social media, etc., and all of that kind of stuff, which of course includes this platform here. And I'm going to use some kind of sort of coded words here so that you guys understand who I mean, but might kind of help confuse the algorithm a little bit, because you've heard me say it before, and maybe I need to say it a bit more. There is a tremendous amount, I repeat, a tremendous amount of censorship on this platform. Now, that doesn't normally, apply to me or whatever, because I'm well within the, YouTube guidelines and all of that stuff and what have you. But if I say booby tube, you know who I mean. Yeah. And what I want to draw attention to is this. Remember what I was saying, the planets transmit their vibrations highest to lowest simultaneously, and we're like antennae picking that up. And how that those expressions are expressed depends, of course, on the level of elevation and enlightenment of the person. Those that are most elevated among us in humankind will always express the highest vibrations of the planets at any given time, even Pluto, yeah, which is mea culpa, transformation, etc., all of this stuff. Then you've got somewhere, of course, around the middle, and then, of course, you have the lowest vibrations. Now, the lowest vibrations of Saturn are authoritarianism, control, censorship, separation, etc., etc. Ad nauseum, you guys can work out the rest. Hardships, all of this kind of stuff. Cruelty. But remember, Saturn, along with the Sun, but Saturn in particular, represents government and big organizations of all kinds. And when we get to the thing on the end, what I'm going to do is this. Because, of course, a lot of people have given their opinions and stuff, of course, on the whole, brand situation. I won't use his full name, the brand situation. And you will notice I've held back. And one of the reasons why I've held back, particularly when there are stories like this, particularly obviously giving the insights that I've shared with you guys about many of the things that are happening in the wider world and wider context, is because I never want to judge too quickly, because I could be wrong. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying for any moment at all that Brand is some kind of perfect person, because he isn't. And I certainly don't agree with all of his opinions. And I think particularly when he's gone down that more let's just say, veering, entertaining certain figures, shall we say, on the right, yeah, without naming names, but sometimes, you know, trucker, you can work out who that person is, yeah, and various different kind of things. However, he is an outspoken voice, and we all know that. He's a YouTuber, and I'm a YouTuber. All of us here who provide the content and stuff, and I've looked at it, and in terms of things that he did, I mean, for starters, no man in his 30s should be kind of going together with a 16-year-old. I'm sorry, in my opinion. But in the UK, that is a legal age of consent. I'm not going to get into all of the details and nitty-gritty and all that stuff, because in many ways, that's not the oeuvre and the essence of what is that I want to discuss. And he's been very open about his life and his foibles and his shortcomings. And he's done tried to do a lot of mea culpa stuff. This isn't really so much about him. What I'm really is disturbing me is how the UK government has responded. So what I'm going to do is this. At the end, as the last segment, I'm going to read out what the UK government, the letter that they wrote to Rumble. And then I'm going to read out Rumble's response, and we'll leave it there. But I would like to know what your opinions are and all of that stuff, because for me, the letter is very disturbing, and it is expressing what I would consider very much the shadow of Saturn. The shadow of Saturn. I also said as well, there'll be new rules and regulations in regard to social media and potentially, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And the Hoover, and you know who that is, take the certain letters, you know, there are only 3 of them. The Hoover recently has had the rules of BoobyTube changed. Many people don't know this. When it comes to anything to do with health, healing, medicines, or anything like that of any kind, we are now contractually obliged to only be able to follow the Hoover's doctrine on those matters. This is not made up. This is as YouTubers, all of us around the world who are on YouTube as a platform, we have to abide by those kind of rules. So I'm just letting you know there's a lot of stuff going on. Right. Got that, and we'll come back to this. Here's the show. Here it is. It's ready. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share as well. And of course, there's membership and stuff like that. I recently shared my Madame Blavatsky video. I hope you guys, obviously that went to my membership first and stuff, and they've had it, I think, for a good while. And I just thought I would share that one, because even though we are in these tumultuous times, spirituality, there are visionaries still out there in the world. We can still go to these higher vibrations. And it's just a very, very interesting time to be here on planet Earth right now. Let's just put it that way. So thank you for all the love and feedback on that. And of course, on my eclipses videos as well, where I looked, of course, at the eclipses and so much of what is going on. I looked at Biden, of course, and I looked at Duck Larange and how Saturn is influencing their charts as well. And these are very, very consequential times. Let's put it that way. So what we're going to be covering in today's show, we're going to be looking at Fox, yeah, or Foxtrot, and a certain someone who is stepped down. Let's put it that way. We are going to be looking at, and this one is a totally cold read for me. We're going to be looking at someone who flew a pilot that ejected an F-35 and it crashed. What was that about? Someone wants me to look at Edward Snowden. Isn't that pertinent? We're going to look at OPEC and inflation, and we're going to look a bit at Ukraine, and then we're going to end up again with the Rumble UK government thing. And I'll be doing a combination, particularly with that segment there as well, sharing my screen and stuff like that. So let's begin. But before I start, let's have a look to see who's in the house. There's actually quite a lot of you here kind of piling in. So hello, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for joining me. As you know, there's so much content out there to watch, and you decide to watch me. Thank you. And so I really appreciate that. Who do we have here? So we got Teresa Campbell. Oh, we spoke today, of course, didn't we, Teresa? Very interesting. Yeah, we looked into her fate and destiny, everything like that. I won't reveal, but so juicy and interesting and exciting for her. We have Patricia here as well. Hello, Patricia. So nice to see you. Who else do we have here? We've got Lynn Pearson. Who else is here as well? Jakanda. So obviously everyone's saying hello to everyone else as well, because as you know, the chat here is a very lively thing in of itself. There we are, some bits and bobs. Who else is here? We have got Christy Tobin. Hi all. Hello, Christy. I think you're a new member as well, aren't you? So thank you so much for joining. And I'll say, of course, more hellos and stuff like that as we go along. Right, let's look at the guy that was previously running Fox. All right, so this question's coming from Mother's Tarot too. Yeah, Mother's Tarot. It's 2 hours ago when the question was posted. So they've asked, what is the future of the Fox empire in its relationship to Murdoch stepping out of the picture? Blessings and much love, Hogarth. Thank you so much. Let's have a look-see here. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to use my golden Art Nouveau tarot on the likes of Murdoch. I think I need to go to my Bianco Nero card deck. Yeah. This guy, my goodness, this guy, you know, who for me, even though it's rude to say, I mean, I respect his intelligence and stuff like that, but this is has been a very dark influence on the world. He reminds me of a fossilized testicle. A bit rude, I think, but you know, or an old ancient, one of those ancient fossilized eggs of a T-Rex or something like that, cracks and all. But very powerful, exceptionally influential. He is well into his 90s now. I think he's around about 92 or 93. Obviously, long health, long lived. And this man has been able to have his hand on the tiller of governments, plural, around the world, but particularly in the West, where he has wielded huge influence, huge. The world really would actually be very different if Murdoch were more inclined, shall we say, to the higher elevations of humanity. So let's see. So what is the future of Fox Empire in its relationship to Murdoch stepping out of the picture? Now we know, obviously, I've spoken a lot about Foxtrot, and you guys can look back in my video history where you see I did a deep dive on Fox. Everything I said came true, all of it. And I said they will enter a time where they will get into a bit of a pickle, and this is where they are now. All right, what's their future now that the head honcho, yeah, the Prince of Darkness, pretty much, has decided to step aside. Let's have a little look-see. All right, Foxtrot. And of course, the likes of Murdoch would also be very much in that Plutonian power. Pluto also deals with small groups of elites that have immense power and control over multiple millions, if not billions. All right. Oh, a reversal. How interesting. All right, here we go. All right, folks. In regards to here, what is the future of Fox Empire in relationship to Murdoch stepping out of the picture? Yeah, Mother's Tarot asked that. So here we get the Chariot card. So they're like, next, moving on. Yeah. I think his son, of course, one of his children, one of his offspring is running the thing. So it's almost like they're just gonna move on, basically, ride roughshod and continue. But this also means that they could probably be going in a slightly different direction into what they've been kind of used to before, etc. All of that kind of stuff. But either way, it looks like they're going to be moving on. So who knows? They might be forging new places. In the obstacle position in the 5-card spread, we see here the Two of Cups. And as you can see, the Two of Cups is all about relationships of all kinds, relationships, deals, etc. But here it's turned out in the obstacle position. So what this can show is, the way I indicate this, Fox is going to be moving forward in regards to its relationships with, maybe its relationship with the truth. Will it become more honest? Probably not. But they're probably going to examine who they partner up with very closely. This also as well, because it's in the obstacle position, this can also speak about separation. So we know a certain Carlson, was separated from Foxtrot, But this could also suggest as well, even though that relationship came to an end, they might try and forge new ones, new partnerships and stuff like that. Hopefully, let's hope that it's going forward with a relationship with the truth rather than lying all the time. If we look here in the middle, they get the Three of Wands reversed. Let me make sure it's the Three of Wands. No, this is the Two of Wands, but holding the globe. Oh yeah, it is the Two of Wands that holds the globe. Anyway, so here we got the Two of Wands, and this is the guy here who, if I turn it the right way up, he's the guy that's looking out, speculating, looking out the world, making plans and stuff like that. But it's turned up reversed. So this can show how many of their plans have been upended. Their vision for the future in terms of, the big lie and all the various different kind of isms and schisms and stuff that they've entertained have been upended. So there is an element here now that he's announced that he's going to leave. Of course, that is going to affect their planning going forward. So that shows, there might be a new face to Fox, a new strategy at least. Here is the Ten of Cups. So they're still going to try and play happy families. Oh, it's all right here. But this is also speaking about the legacy of the Murdoch family. Obviously, the children are still very much involved. I don't know which son, I can't remember, but one of them is still very much there as from what I understand as of today, which is the 21st of September 2023. And it's 10 minutes to midnight here in the UK. So here, playing the happy families and all of this kind of stuff. And this can also talk about the GOP, and it can talk about the base. So they're still going to try and please the base in some kind of way. However, they're going to be juggling a lot more. They're going to be juggling a lot more. So I would say their future is a bit more uncertain and maybe not quite as financially lucrative as it was before. As we know, they had tons of money kind of coming in. And a lot of the time they came as an automatic part of people's packages. For, like, you would take out a cable thing and Fox would always be there. And I think there's talk about them not necessarily being guaranteed to be on there. This is also them trying to juggle and literally balance the books. And here you see the stormy, do you see the stormy seas behind? So this is also talking about the tumultuous effect of these court cases. I think, is it Smartmatic that's still coming up, or I forget. We know that they had to do an out-of-court settlement with one of the voting machines. And there's another one to come up, which I think is in excess of 2 billion, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, or just clarify me. Because we have to look at a lot of stuff. And forgive me for being a bit gravelly today. Very busy day with consultations all day. And so sometimes I get a bit hoarse. So if we look here, this is the churning seas where Fox have to try and balance things out. Pentacles, of course, deal with money as well. And the Two of Pentacles literally means juggling money and finances. So it shows here there's some financial instability on the way for Fox, of course, because these next lawsuits are about to come in. So they're going to have to watch their pennies. They're going to have to watch their pennies and how they do going forward. Essentially, they're going to, let me have a slurp here, sorry. I didn't have time to get a glass. I've just had to slurp out the bottle. So we can see challenges. Let's say they're going to move on from Murdoch, but there are going to be challenges, particularly financial challenges going forward, which is going to have to make them juggle like the Two of Pentacles. Okay, let's see who else is here as well. So we've got people saying hello to one another, which is great. Let's see here. Very disturbed. Oh, here is this a bit of a response. So Maud is saying very, very disturbing and also incredibly dumb. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, because what they've done is not very bright. Yeah, just think about it. It's not very bright, and it feeds into a lot of things, doesn't it? Feeds into a lot of things, but we'll get to that moment. At the moment. Let's see here. So Jacanda's saying, so free speech, honest debate are off the table. Okay, right. Yeah, very interesting. Sometimes I think to myself, you know, when I see all this stuff going on, I'm like, are they going to do that to me? Are they going to do that to me? Because I do political tarot and stuff, and I read on the future of the world and political parties. You know, are they going to come and censor HoGaLe and stuff like that? Because I've had videos demonetized before. You know, thankfully it doesn't happen that often. But I'm really starting to think, as a content producer, I'm really starting to think about BoobyTube and this platform. I really am. How can one not? Because it's not just brand. There are many. There's been a guy who's been silenced for talking about keto diets. Like, come on, yeah, Dr. Berg. I'm sure you guys know him. What's he done to anyone? You know, getting demonetized and deplatformed. Yeah, so people can what? Recover from diabetes. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So so Tobias saying, me too, Orwellian. It's when I read you the letter, you will see what I mean. And it won't be my words. It won't be my words. I'll just read what the UK government said. Definitely the Bard today. Yeah, I'm not sure to. Oh, in fact, let's see. Let's do the Bard on Murdoch. I don't know if I've done that before, but let's see what the Bard says about Murdoch. Ah, Bard, in your infinite wisdom and limitless talents and skills, what bit of spiciness can you give us for the old Rupee Murdoch? How interesting. Yeah. So the Bard says, I do hate thee worse than a promise breaker, from Coriolanus. Lanius, sorry, butchered that. But this is really interesting from King Lear. I think it's come up before, but I can't remember for who, but it was a while ago. And it says here, you are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. Wow, King Lear. So there you are. Very interesting. That's what the Bard had to say there. Right, let's move on to the next debate. Well, not next debate. Now, this for me is a completely cold read. I don't have a clue about this. I really don't. So Teresa's here has asked, not the Teresa in the comments, another Teresa, says, hi, Hogarth, what can you tell us about the pilot that ejected an F-335 that flew on autopilot until crashing? Was there any connection to the UN meeting that same day in New York? I've got no idea. Let's ask the cards. Because as you know, a lot of the time, guys, when I'm answering your questions, very often they're cold reads. You know, particularly, and you guys know that, but I'm talking about some of the pedantics, you know, that like to get their needles out and stick them under the fingernails if we're not perfect. Or if we've not done, years worth of research on a political subject or person, which is not the point of these shows. The point is, of course, is this us exploring these arguments, having these debates that are not necessarily being had on the mainstream media or mainstream media stories, and examining those, or your own curiosities about the world and stuff like that, which of course is the great pleasure of these things. But as you know, us YouTubers, we do this from home. We're ordinary people. All right, this pilot thing. Can you tell us about the pilot that ejected F-35, flew on autopilot until crashing? Was there any connection to the UN meeting in the same day in New York? Yeah, wasn't Biden in the UN? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't watch as much mainstream news as I used to, because frankly, a lot of it is. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to fill in the blanks of how I feel about that. All right, let's have a look. Oh. Really don't know anything about this situation. Let's see what the cards say. Let's go like that. There we go. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Ah. Well, look, there's the crash, isn't it? There it is. It's amazing, isn't it, sometimes, the cards. All right. I've just got to go completely intuitively on this one. So if we look here, Six of Swords. So this is describing what the whole reading is about. Now, we know the Six of Swords means what? Moving to smoother waters and stuff like that. So could this describe the mind of the guy flying the plane? Well, it could be a woman. I don't know if she said male or female, but anyway, the pilot, let's just say that. This could describe the mind of the pilot. Now, of course, here the Six of Swords is about what? Getting away from things, sailing to smoother waters. So maybe there was an element here of, now look, it could have been a malfunction or something like that. However, it stated that it was flying on autopilot. So if it was flying on autopilot, then obviously the pilot wasn't flying, yeah? Or maybe they pressed the autopilot or what have you. Now, in what sense was this person wanting to go to smoother waters or get away from something or something like that? Or was it intended to crash at some other designated place? We'll have to see. But when we look at the next card, we've got a major arcana card here. And this, of course, is the Hanged Man. And this is about having a change of perspective, a changed perspective. But it's turned up in the obstacle position. So this can talk about feeling stuck. So could it be the person, the pilot, was trying to get away from a situation or circumstances because they were feeling stuck in some kind of way, stuck and bound? We also need to remember too that swords deal with the mind, mentality. If we look here, we see we've got the Page of Swords, and there's another sword card coming up. So pages are what? They always deal with messages of some kind. Swords deal with the intellect and the mind and what have you. So it's almost like maybe this person was trying to send a message of some kind. But what kind of message? We see another Swords. This time it is the Knight of Swords, which is known as one of the most aggressive and fastest cards in the deck. Now, swords are also associated with the element of air. The Knight of Swords is associated with war. He was literally what? Flying through the air, trying to send some kind of message because maybe he or she was feeling stuck in some way and wanting to move to smoother waters. And the outcome was the tower. Yeah, it crashed and burned. Literally, we know the tower can literally mean sudden shocks and surprises, crashing and burning and stuff like that. Remember, I also got the tower card for Prigozhin. Yeah. It can literally mean plane crash. There it is. So my instinct is this, and I can only go by what is on the cards because, well, we don't even know this person at all, do we? It seems like this person was feeling frustrated and stuck. You know, because they're in a situation that they felt they couldn't get out of. Yeah, the hanged man, because when it's the right way up, normally it means contemplation, reflection, pondering things from a new perspective, but it's come in the obstacles. So the person was feeling stuck. They wanted to send a message of some kind, flying their fast aeroplane military style through the air and causing a crash. So I think they wanted to send a message of some kind. Maybe they were frustrated with military budgets or whatever. It could have been a litany of things, but that person was feeling stuck, frustrated, and they wanted to make a statement. That's how I'm reading that card there. All right, so we've done Foxy. Oh God, I need to crack on, actually. The time's going. Yeah, so CC Rider said YouTube didn't pull down Russell Brand's channel, they simply demonetized it. Yeah, and of course I wasn't saying that his content was deplatformed. I didn't say that. Yes, he has been demonetized, which basically renders his channel useless. Yeah, useless. How is he going to earn a living? Yeah. So, and it's not just one of these things, because if you're a YouTuber, you can imagine, like, I'm a YouTuber, Lena's a YouTuber, you know, Linda G's a YouTuber, Lady G's we're all YouTubers. All of us who you watch, even though the adverts can sometimes be a little bit annoying, we're monetized. It supports our livelihood. It's how we're able to provide you with free content, essentially, because YouTube will pay a proportion, even though they kind of take the piss a little bit. I think they should actually pay us more, but that is what supports the channel. If it wasn't for that, most of us wouldn't be here. Yeah, because, you know, how many of us in the world today with so many costs can actually work for free? Think of it that way. So if your channel is demonetized, especially a channel as big with as many bells and whistles as Brand has, it's over. Yeah, it's over. So it's quite an extreme form of it's beyond even a kind of censorship in a way, because they're still keeping the videos up. So YouTube will still make the revenue, but he won't. So you see, they're kind of, anyway, never mind. We'll address this at the end. Let's see what else is here. Oh yes, someone's saying here, Kathy saying CC Rider demonetized, same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Basically, once you demonetize, your channel's over. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are, your channel's over. Let's see here. So we're all old beings appearing new. Yeah, this stuff is as old as time. Oh, thank you, Abigail. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your donation. It really helps. It really helps. It really does help. Let's see here. I've been calling Muskie Victor Von Doom. Nice hacking on X, formerly known tweet. Catch my drift. Yeah, he's a funny one. Like I've said for ages. Oh, CC is saying Fox has 5 lawsuits in the tank. Good luck. Yeah, Lachlan. Oh, I think Lachlan's the, you know, the one that's left, isn't it? Let's move on to, now we're going to talk about Ukraine. Now, this is an old HoGaLe question, because, you know, I put in some of the old HoGaLe questions. And Ron Brock has asked, hi, Hogarth, do you see Ukraine breaking on through the Russian defenses and taking control of the southern part of their control by the end of the year? So basically saying the southern part of their country, where obviously a lot of the action is happening. All right, so let's have a look. Let's see what's coming up for Ukraine. Will they make progress? Let's have a look. All right, let's have a look. Ukraine. And I'm going to have to hurry up a bit because I want to leave enough time at the end for the UK government question. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, well, look at this. Look at this. There is a lot of business here as well. A lot of business. Wow. Okay. So, first of all, we get the sword of truth, ace or ace, yeah, sword of truth. So aces are often considered yes cards. So it looks like they might make some kind of significant breakthrough in the not too distant future. When we see here, though, what is the potential obstacle card? Yeah, now remember the card that comes out second can show a potential obstacle. Here is the Queen of Pentacles, which is talking about what? Money, security. Pentacles aren't just money, they also deal with values and land and stuff like that. Or, you know, as Lena would say, they deal with values. But here we can literally look at this. The way I interpret this is with the potential obstacle, although the sword of truth seems to be apparent to all and they've got a chance of breaking through, will they get the funding and the support required to defend their homeland? Yeah, because the Queen of Pentacles is about home and hearth as well. They need to rely on what? Funding. And we know what MTG and all of that, you know, some of the stuff that she's come up with, she basically wants to stop the funding, have the funding stop. It's not just her, it's the whole GOP machine. And also as well, they're going to try and what? Lock down the government or shut the government, which again is what I said back in November. I said if the GOP get control of the House, even if it's by 1 or 2 votes, whatever, they would do, I said they would do the Hunter Biden stuff, probably try and impeach Joe and shut down the government. And they also want to stop funding as well to Ukraine. Now, if we look in the middle card, now, isn't this interesting? Here we see the Queen of Wands, but what is the national flower of Ukraine? The sunflower. The Queen of Wands is the ones that brings people together. Yeah, brings people together for discussion, debate. She brings together the tribe, etc. She uses her social skills and her intuition. So this in many ways is Ukraine using its intuition, its powers of negotiation on the world stage to get support. This can also suggest as well that maybe after the conflict is over, not even maybe, once the conflict is over, because it will end at some point, this could represent new business opportunities for Ukraine and development, investment, etc. So there is that element there as well, which is part of it because it's come in the middle. If we look here, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, we understand that this is the slowest moving card in the deck, but it does deal with money and finances. It also deals with perseverance and stuff like that. So, of course, Ukraine have to persevere. But the funding and support from Europe and America may slow down. It may not come as quickly, which of course is not going to be so kind of great for them. So I'm not saying no money. We can see, look, it's still a pentacle, but this is a slow one. So Ukraine may feel that the world is starting to slow down, starting to what, maybe even lose a bit of interest in them, you know, because, you know, this is humanity. Yeah. This is why the moon represents the public, because it what waxes and it wanes, waxes and it wanes, that the mood sentiment can change. So there will still be money there, but it may not be as free flowing and as forthcoming as it was before. However, the outcome card here is the Merchant, yeah, the 9 of Cups, which means wish fulfillment and satisfaction. So it could be after negotiations, maybe things shift and change, because we're now going into autumn, which of course is going to change the weather. There's going to be more mud and rain. The tanks aren't going to be as effective. It could be elements of the weather may actually come in and help Ukraine a bit. However, what this would suggest is maybe going forward, they may not be as financially supported as before. And as you know, the GOP have made it very clear that they want to cut funding to Ukraine. So it's like, oh gosh, quite interesting. So that's that. Let's see how we're doing on time. Yeah, we've got enough time. Let's have a look here. Let's see here. Let's see. Greenwich Mean, Hogarth's Global Astrology. What sort of thing is here? What's a glass? What's a glass? Do you mean as in like drinking glass? Because look, I've got my water bottle here, but not my drinking glass. In fact, let me have a little bit more. That's the only glass reference that I can think of, which is a drinking glass. Oh, look, someone's saying here, yeah, love Dr. Berg. Yeah, he has helped millions of people recover their health. Can you imagine? Literally millions. So many people love and respect him for what he's done, his journey. And for me, in my opinion, I think he's been treated really badly. This should not be. People that are helping people discover their health, especially with a diet that's been around for ages. I mean, if people were dropping dead from keto, I would get it, yeah, but they're not. They're not even close. So why on earth is he why are they tinkering with him? Why are they messing with him? Do you know what I mean? This is what makes me think about my own channel. And I honestly think other YouTubers, even in this sphere that we're in, really need to think. When I read you the letter, you'll see what I mean from the UK government. You're like, really? Really? Ah. And she kind of says, we'll follow you wherever you go. Well, hopefully, I'll stay here, but I'm starting to broaden. I'm starting because I do not like where this is going. And as you know, I read energy, and I said, governments will change the rules on things. And I'll put either a link or something like that where you can see those predictions again. Many of you will know it already, but it's happening. This stuff is real. Producer says the Bard was spot on with Murdoch. Yes, he was. Indeed, he always is. And let's see here. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Another donation. So how much worse is it going to get before it gets better? Oh, ooh, are you sure? You sure you want the answer to that question? The way Pluto works is this. He brings up all that is, he's the god of the underworld, yeah? He dredges up all of the muck for us to see and deal with and to turn the lead into gold. The highest vibration of Pluto is alchemy, is mea culpa, it is the shaman, the medicine bringer, but the shadow must be faced. And I often, when I'm talking with my clients, I often use some scenes from Supergirl. Do you remember that? It was 1984. Linda something, I can't remember. Well, the actress that played Supergirl. Now, it's quite a cheesy movie. Yeah, this is, but it's become a bit of a cult classic because they said it's so bad it's good. But really, one of the standout performances is Faye Dunaway as the sorceress Selena. If you've not seen this film, you've got to check it out. But there are some brilliant analogies. In fact, post this video, I'm actually going to put some links into Supergirl where it's got specific clips. And where I feel like the part of the world is going, but particularly in America, is when Supergirl is put into the phantom zone. And she loses her powers and she can't fly anymore. She tries to fly and she crosses a rock, tries to crush a rock, and her hand bleeds. You guys might know that scene. And she gets stuck in the mud and this, that, and the other, and she has to come back out. And then there's another scene at the end of the film where Selena is trying to destroy Supergirl. And they say, turn her to that demon. Yeah. And she has to face this monster that she's created before it's defeated. So in a way, I find that as an allegory, not only for America, but what is going on in the wider world. And it will go on for a while because a lot of muck is coming up. The shadow of Saturn is control. Remember, authoritarianism, trying to silence things and stuff. Look what's happening in the world. Anyway, I don't need to bang on. Let's go on to the next part. So Crystal Ball Persuasion has said, can you do a current reading on Edward Snowden? He's a Russian citizen now, and I'm wondering if he's either willingly or being forced to use his computer skills against Ukraine or the US. Oh, what a juicy question. I can't remember if I asked you this already or if I was just thinking about asking. All right, let's see. That's a juicy one. My goodness, Crystal Blue Persuasion. Very good question. All right. Let's have a ramage and see what the cards have to say. Thank you guys as well for the donations. It really helps support the channel. I'm quite touched. I really appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Snowden. Is he being used by Russia? Certainly a useful person to have around anyway, isn't it? If you think about it. Whatever side one is on. Ooh, bit of juggling. Well, I don't think well, mind you, well, I don't think he's lacking money. Let's put it this way. Oh, look, America's turned up. Oh, High Priestess. Bloody hell. Look at that. 3 major arcana. All right, folks. Are you ready for this? You ready for this? All right, here we go. Question again. Now, can you do a read on Edward Snowden? Is he a Russian? He's now a Russian citizen. I'm wondering if he's either willingly or being forced to use his computer skills against Ukraine or the US. That's the question. Yeah, from Crystal Blue Persuasion. Here, it's a juggling act. It's a juggling act. 2 of Pentacles, and of course Pentacles means money. Now, we've already had the Pentacles come out earlier on when we were talking about Foxtrot and Rupert Murdoch. They're back again, but this time on my different tarot deck. So what this suggests is, this can suggest, it's a card of manipulation, juggling things, yeah? It can deal with information as well, of course, finances and money or values. So what this suggests to me is that he's having to juggle his values in regards to his homeland, pardon me, and his new country, Russia. So it could also show he's divided between juggling different concepts and stuff like that. And obviously this has a lot to do as well with money. But let's not forget the churning sea that is in the background, which also denotes the emotions connected with this card as well. If we look here, look at the next card. Ace of Pentacles, so we see money again. Now, of course, Pentacle aces are considered yes cards, yeah? Now, it's turned up in the obstacle position, but the obstacle for whom, yeah? If we look at the next card, who's in the middle, this is what? The card for America. So what this would suggest to me, whatever he's doing, he's certainly being well paid. He's certainly not lacking in funds. But because it's the obstacle position, this could suggest that maybe these are funds that are not necessarily maybe in America's favor. Let's put it that way. But also as well, this is also talking about values. This is also talking about gold, but it can also talk about fool's gold as well. Either way, the way I see this is, I think he is being paid in regards to use his skills in terms of the star card, which of course is associated with America. And well, we readers associate now with America when we're doing political reads. There it is. You can see in the middle, which is also what the whole reading hangs off. Now, is it any surprise at all that we have the High Priestess also here as well? Now we know now when you're doing readings for ordinary people, this is a person discovering their spirituality, tuning in with higher forces, etc., using more of their intuition, dreams, all of this kind of stuff. But as you know, when we're talking political, this talks about what? Secrets, espionage, intrigues. We all know why Snowden had to escape. Yeah. So this is a man who knows many, many secrets and probably knows even more secrets than he did before. Yeah. He knew what he knew about the US government and all their various shenanigans and stuff like that. Imagine what he knows now, particularly in regard to the next card, which says it all, because the next card here that comes out is the Empress. And as you guys will know, I associate the Empress with what? Mother Russia. So here it is abundantly clear, isn't it? He's been juggling. He's had to, you know, assess his values because, of course, he's now in a new country where he is now a citizen. He is being paid well for his services in regards to things, all things American. Yeah. especially in regards to secrets and espionage, and he's learned an awful lot more since his time where in Russia. So but it also shows as well he's made a life there. It's a fertile ground for him now. I'm sure he's settled there, and I think he's got married, and with kids, and what have you. So really, this is here we are. Russia is his home. Let's find the emperor. There we are. Russia is his home. Yeah, it's where he now feels secure. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Let's quickly look at OPEC, and then we'll finish up on the whole thing. So I'll be quick on this. So this is coming from Michelle Johnson, and great question. You've written me some great questions, guys. Is OPEC cutting oil production and raising, in parentheses, and raising gas prices to help Trump? Duck l'orange. 30% of inflation right now is due to gas prices. Now, my instinct before I even pull would be yes. Yeah, makes sense. If you think about it, remember that new BRICS currency that I took, well, not new, it is newest, that BRICS currency I was telling you about, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and how new countries are joining. Yeah, Argentina, Ethiopia, Iran, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I think Egypt as well. Egypt is in there. And I forget the other one. So you can imagine UAE and Saudi, of course, is what? OPEC nations, yeah? Part of, I think they're part of OPEC. And if you've got a new currency coming out and all of that kind of stuff, do you want to make it easier for America or more difficult? Yeah, that's just my instinct, my logic right there. Let's have a look. Let's see what the cards have to say. OPEC. Hope you guys are finding the show interesting, and don't forget, of course, if you'd like to support, don't forget to like and subscribe and share as well. Share and join as well if you fancy, the extra content, or the Madame Blavatsky stuff. Edgar Casey I did recently as well. But anyway, OPEC, and I'll be doing more such readings and deep dives. OPEC, vis-a-vis America, and are they trying to deliberately raise inflation to harm Biden? My instinct is yes, because it will be in their political advantage to do so. And of course, you've got the bloody anarchists, wanting to shut down the government. Oh, I forgot to, sorry, I'm moving the camera too much. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. The mercenary comes back. There it is. There it is. All right, folks. What's this about? This is about choices, smoke and mirrors, illusions and delusions. Yeah. So we're asking, what's this about? Are OPEC, trying to do this to kind of affect, the election and stuff for Biden? I would say yes. Why? Now, this means choices. Of course, cups deals with emotions. Now, here, but this can also deal with illusions and delusions. For me, this is the card I associate with Neptune, the shadow of Neptune. Now, the shadow of Neptune is the unreal appearing real, but it also deals with gaslighting and scandals and secrets and stuff like that. So what this says to me is that the OPEC and all that kind of stuff are reducing production to kind of raise inflation, to create more confusion and discombobulation, perhaps in global economies, but particularly the US economy, where this is most likely to have the big political impact in 2024. So there it is there. It can also mean casting spells as well, or just being delusional. But it's not OPEC being delusional here. They know what they're doing. Yeah, it's more of the sophistry. Yeah, well, not sophistry, the manipulations. If we look here, we have got the Knight of Pentacles. So again, I spoke about this before. This is the slowest moving card in the deck. Also deals with money, but it deals with dedication. It's known as the Loyal Knight. However, it's turned up in the obstacle position. So this could be what? The disloyal knight, or those that are just doing their things for their own selfish intentions. This can also be the mercenary as well. So there are people that are doing this for their own selfish intentions. In what context? Look at the middle card here. 10 of Pentacles. We know this is what? Big money. Big money institutions. It often sometimes refer to it as the GOP as well, who are obviously trying to what? Shut down the government. But this literally does deal with governments. This could literally be OPEC itself and all of the vested interests therein, including BRICS and all of that stuff as well, because it's in the middle of the reading. So it's showing that there are big moneyed interests that have stakes in the outcome, of course, of the USA election. It's a big deal. So it means everyone's in there. You've got the GOP money in there. You've got the OPEC. You've got all the other different bits and bobs and whatever other sixpence worth anyone else wants to chuck in. But this is talking about legacies as well. This is the card that has the only one to have 3 generations of a family there. It's even got the dogs. You've got the grandpa. You've got his children and the grandchildren playing somewhere, knocking around there. What's the intention of all this? Says it for itself, isn't it? Heartache. They want to drive a stake through the heart, potentially, of the USA economy. And then when you consider you got the GOP cra who are also wanting to do what? Shut the government down. This is like a 2-pronged attack. This is a coordinated effort. What makes me say that? Because look at the outcome card, which is the Lovers. The Lovers is all about decisions that need to be made, but it also deals with business deals, deals with business dealings, contracts of all kinds. So we can see here there's an alliance. There's an alliance, a contract, in order to kind of drive the stake through the American economy via the big institutions that have a vested interest in the USA not succeeding. And it's to do with compromised values. Remember this card was underneath and selfish intent, in order to cause confusion and discombobulation within the electorate as they have to deal with all of the various difficulties that come with inflation increasing. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And then let's have a quick scroll through, and then I'm going to share my screen. Let's scroll down. Oh, thank you, Foggy, sorry. Thank you for your donation. Really appreciate that. Let's see here. Oh, here we are. A bit of update. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Cece. So CNN on Sunday, the pilot ejected safely after a mishap involving the jet and was taken to a local medical facility in stable condition. Joint Base Charleston said on Facebook post. Okay, but I wonder what that mishap was. Very interesting, because in terms of reading into it, of course, without knowing the situation, thank you for that information. Looks like he had a message to send. So maybe he or she was having a moment, shall we say. I think it's more of a moment because, remember, swords deal with the mind. Let's see here. Zelensky is truly courageous. May Putin be arrested by the World Court. Oh, indeed. He is immensely courageous. What Putin has done is he strengthens Zelensky immeasurably. I always say this. Well, I don't always say this. When you try to kill something, you make it fight for its life. Yeah. If Putin really wanted to get rid of Zelensky, the best thing he could have done is maybe ignore him and then maybe have undermined from the sides. But anyway, rest is history now. He wanted to do his little bits and bobs. Let's see who else is here. All the Looney Tunes MAGA GOP members need to be voted out. Yes, I certainly hope so, but they're intoxicated. They are utterly intoxicated, of course, with Duck L'Orange. Oh, thank you, Jenny Bayaz. Oh, gosh. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you. It really, really does help. I really appreciate this. It really, really does help. What's this? Oh, someone's saying here, Patreon, you can say what you want, have Zoom groups as well. Oh, I might have to examine that as well, especially as things get a bit more dicey, folks. I'm not saying I'm leaving YouTube forever. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, because of what's happening, I'm going to have to entertain other ideas. about other platforms. And this could really backfire, you know, this thing that BoobyTube has done here, because it's making people like, oh, yeah, they'll take their audiences elsewhere. So, you know, no company is too big to fail. It only takes a certain percentage or for people to lose faith in something and it's no longer viable. Anyway, so now I need to talk about, let's talk about, that's it. That's what I'm supposed to talk about, the whole Rumble thing. Oh gosh, I might go over a little bit. Look, I'm already there. Oh, why did I leave it so late? Okay, this is going to have to be a bit of a slightly longer video. I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to read for you the letters. Hopefully it's going to take me less than 10 minutes because here we are. So let's see here. Rumble response channel, Parliament letter. Here we are. Let me share this. So you can see for yourself. You're going to see it in black and white. It's not anything I've made up. Come on. It's on Reddit here. Here we go. Here we go. Where is the... Oh, sweet. Where is the one? Maybe it's this one. Ah, this is it. This is it. Now here you can see this is the letter. Let me know if you can see what I'm showing you. You can see here some Culture, Media and Sport Committee. Let's click in. Here we are. So House of Commons, London, SW1 0AA. Now I tell you, I've actually been to the Houses of Parliament 3 times. Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that actually works there, and I've literally been to Parliament 3 times in there. It's full of pubs, by the way, and bars, but I digress. But this is somewhere I've physically been to as a guest, so I know this place relatively well. Anyway, so here's the letter to Chris Pavlovsky, Chief Executive Officer of Rumble, yeah, dated 20th of September 2023. It's now the 22nd, because obviously I've gone over into past midnight. Anyway, what it says here, Dear Chris, I'm writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. So they obviously know how many people are looking. The Culture, Media and Support Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously, now broadcasters and production companies, plural, who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also looking at his use of social media. So the UK government is looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. So this is the UK government writing to a private company saying, we're concerned about how much money he's making. What are your thoughts on this? You can see there it is, black and white. We would be grateful if you would confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos relating to the serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. This is the UK government approaching the CEO of a private company to basically say, we want you to demonetize him just like on YouTube. Why? Yeah. We would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yours sincerely, Dame Caroline Dinage, DBEMP, Chair, Culture, Media and Support and Sport Committee. Guys, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know your thoughts on that, because for me, I'm just like, wow. Okay, so I hope, did you actually get to, oh, maybe I didn't click on the right one. Now let's go back. Oh, let's close that down. I don't know how to get myself back to my page. Oh, StreamYard, here we are. So guys, did you see that? Did you see, did you see what I was sharing there? Let's go to, I'm going to read you the response. Let me just see now. Let me just scroll down. Did you guys see what I read? They do go to prison for the seditious favorite politics chat room. Just doing that already. Astrology. He is monetized on YouTube. Yeah, but he's been demonetized off YouTube now, though. Yeah, he's been demonetized. He's monetized. All right, no, he's been demonetized. Okay, now let's look here. Let me get you. If I do the present again, oh no, not stop share. Let me click on. Let me just find you the response. So hopefully you guys can see this. Can you see the response? 1 minute. Let me close this down here. All right, this is the response. Let me know in the comments if you can see. So this was posted on X, formerly known, of course, as Twitter. So Rumble's response to the UK Parliament to our CEO. Right. Today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape, and all serious crimes, and believes that both alleged victims and the accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation. It is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform, because he's not broken their terms of engagement, just like how YouTube has as well. Just yesterday, YouTube announced, based solely on these media accusations, it's barring Mr. Brand from monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard, or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. You see, that's very crucial. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or earn a living from doing so. Absolutely right. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We emphatically reject the UK Parliament's demands. Yeah, and that tweet has had 15.6 million views. What is also been said on the Reddit platform as well in the comments is well worth checking out. So someone here has written, as a Brit, this is disturbing. No trial, no jury, no conviction, but senior politicians coming after your livelihood. So Orwellian. And here someone here said 100% it is the government itself subverting due process. On top of that, basically pressing a private company to censor a private individual. Even the most vile person deserves their day in court and is innocent until proven guilty. Maybe not in the court of public opinion, but certainly under the government's court and the laws the parliament operate under. So I will leave that there. You would have seen these things now for yourself. Let me do this stop share. What are your thoughts on that, guys? You've seen, I've read you the letter from the UK government and I've read you the response. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Not my words, I'm just sharing with you, but I am expressing my concern that my government is doing this. And although I'm not entirely shocked, part of me is shocked, because even though I described these energies and I said there were the dangers of these energies of what? Government control, overreach, new rules, regulations, social media. I've said it before, it's there on the record. You can see the videos for yourself. But the fact that there is now concrete evidence the government did do this. And this is very, very tricky, because if you can imagine, look at the situation with democracy right now, particularly in the United States, particularly with things like QAnon and various different kind of bits and bobs. Now think about it. Do these actions by the UK government essentially asking for brand to be demonetized, does that increase people's faith in the government, or does it feed in to what people are talking about governments around the world? And when we also lay in the extra layer of my predictions about what governments would do, let me know your thoughts. I know it's quite a controversial topic, but I wanted to, just for you to, when we take the brand bit out of it, because listen, I don't 100% agree with brand and some of the directions where he's gone and stuff like that. And I certainly don't think any 30-odd-year-old, as he was at the time, should be fraternizing with 16-year-olds and stuff like that. Let's not get confused here. What this is about for me, do you agree or disagree, or what are your opinions of my government basically writing letters to get private citizens demonetized? Yeah, very interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. And let's see here. And I can see here in the oh yeah, I mean, look, someone says here, I love freedom of speech, but brand is toxic. Yeah, he's a very divisive character, definitely. But I do think freedom of speech is worth defending, even if it's oh, here, let me close with this quote. Now remember as well, this is from the funniest quotations to brighten your day. It's not necessarily bright, but I think it's very pertinent and interesting. And this is about truth, chapter on truth. This is what this person said. That's the other thing I learned that day, that the truth, however shocking or uncomfortable, in the end leads to liberation and dignity. And that's from Ricky Gervais. Yeah, so you can see for yourself. Yeah, that's the other thing I learned the other day, that the truth, however shocking or uncomfortable, in the end leads to liberation and dignity. And I couldn't agree more. We need to have a world where we have a pluralism of opinions, discussion, debate, where even if people say things we don't like or we think unsavory, as long as they're not really dangerous. I mean, I'm not talking about like a lot of the GOP you know, the Kraken who's saying Hugo Chavez is, you know, interfering in elections from the grave. You know, that's obviously BS. But it is a bit disturbing when you have what I would consider, and many people would consider, an overreach here, where the government is literally on paper trying to get someone demonetized. You know, when you think of some of the things, yeah, he's a bit of a toxic character, but he's also embarrassed a lot of people and characters as well. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I've got to leave it there on this. This video is going to be too long. Thank you so much. Do not agree, but strenuous. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, a lot of people say agree with freedom of speech. Yeah, just the last one here. I agree, freedom of speech is very important. Yeah, even though it's uncomfortable and sometimes the characters can be unsavory and whatever, but this isn't even about what Brand has said. This is what he's being accused of, which hasn't yet to go through the courts of law and this, that, and the other. We'll have to see what comes out in the wash. But the fact that the UK government are going to these lengths, we'll have to see. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more. Otherwise, they might even try and demonetize this video just for talking about it. Who knows? Oh, let's see here. One last one. So YouTube picks and chooses what it restricts. The ads that show up on the homepage are sexual and young girls being featured. Right. they do pick and choose, yeah, and there are algorithms as well, and that's why sometimes we have to be careful what we say, even what we put up on screen. This video could be affected. I'll have to see. I hope not, because they monitor everything. Let's just put anyway. I think we'll leave it there. Someone said, very good, thanks over Global Astrology, and let's leave it there. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and share and subscribe, and thank you to everyone who is donating and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Food for thought, eh? Anyway, I'll leave it there. Mwah! All right, bye-bye for now, and I'll see you all soon. All right, bye-bye.